Hi, this is Rashid Kapadia with a description of one of my talks about flow. The talk could be titled Finding Flow for Success, Finding Flow for Mastery, Flow, a Finals Performance Frontier. What is this talk about? There is a state of mind and body, a combined state called the flow state in which we perform our best and we feel our best. And always this question comes to my mind, what more can you want? If you are in a state where you're performing your best and you're feeling your best, certainly that is a state you want to be in for as long as possible. So, flow is also the holy grail for elite performers, elite athletes, elite musicians, elite doctors, anyone who is at the peak of their game knows this. They know that their best work is done when they are in the flow state. Now, what are some of the characteristics of the state? Selflessness. You somehow forget all about yourself. There's no awareness of it. Time, it either vanishes or sometimes it dilates. It feels like it's just gone, or it stretches. It's characterized by a dilation of time. There's a sense of effortlessness, of mastery, that when you're in the flow state, you're performing without a struggle. Everything is flowing. And finally, a sense of richness. Almost like all the resources inside of us are brought to bear on the task. Flow is that state in which the task at hand, what we are doing, has so totally captured our attention that everything else vanishes. And here's when we do our best. Here's when we feel our best. Now, I first read about this, The Psychology of Optimal Experience Flow by Csikszentmihalyi, who is widely considered to be the godfather of flow. Wonderful book. And then when I read Steven Kotler's book, The Rise of Superman, here it is. At this point, something happened. I began to say it as I was reading. I'm looking at the future. I am seeing the future in domain after domain. This is important. I want to read this book over and over again. And since then, I've come to recognize that flow is like a final performance frontier. Very respected psychologists, some of them who are in the top 100 influencers, make statements like, the difference between normal me or normal you and Superman me and Superman you is the flow state. We perform so much better when we are in a flow state. We feel like we can perform like way beyond our normal attributes. So I've developed an entire talk on flow. I believe this is very, very important. You take two teams with identical skills, objective realities, and if one can get into flow and the other can't, the team that is in flow will far outperform those who are not in flow. I also discuss something that is called triggers. How can you surround yourself by flow triggers so more and more naturally get into flow? What are the different ways we get into flow? Is it creativity? Is it something that's social? Is it internal? Is it external? A combination of these triggers. We discuss it. We do a couple of exercises. We may have some discussion on flow states. And I'll cover a few truly extraordinary stories which bring the point to life. So this is my talk. I believe this may be one of the most important talks, especially on the mastery of performance frontiers. Finding flow for success. Flow, a final performance frontier. I would love to discuss with you how I can present to your audiences. This is a universally important topic, and this is the future. This is the future. I have no doubt about it. I wish to evangelize flow to your audiences, and I hope that we get a chance to discuss this and take it to the next steps. Thank you, Rashid Kapadia.